thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us for an amazing evening with Julia Stege, the magical marketer. And we are so grateful that each and every one of you is here to join us for our Tuesday Universal Church of the Master educational series. And Julia has been doing for many years, creating marketing tools for people on the spiritual path. And she is going to share that with us today. She has also been a stage actor, and I believe she's also a musician and a singer. So I'm just going to put those out as well. And I am grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to pass it over to Corky, who's going to share more in detail what it has been like to work with Ms. Julia.
Hi there, everyone. I've been on the committee to work with Julia. I've had the pleasure of working with Julia for probably been, what, a year? Or anyway, for quite a while. We meet once a week to, we're doing marketing for, we're kind of rebranding UCM in the sense that we're making it more available for like younger people, trying to bring in the younger crowd so that we have members. So at any rate, and putting things on Facebook and putting things on Instagram and putting things on Zip and Zoom and just trying to get everything out there so that where the people are, that we can meet them where they are. And Julia has been the driving force for this, teaching us how to do it. Also, there Reverend Eileen and Corey and myself are working on just diligently every week, every day, sometimes every minute, trying to get or not just trying, but getting who is UCM, what do we want to project, what do we want to say about ourselves, what will spark people to find us, because we have such a wonderful message for people, and so it just seems, it's like Reverend Eileen says, the best kept secret is no longer a secret. So that's our message, is that we're here we want community, and for people who want community, we're here. At any rate, working with Julia has been such a pleasure, and I've learned just tons, and I appreciate her, and that we're building a beautiful website, and it's going to be in your computer soon. Not yet, but soon.
Very soon.
And so, Julia, we appreciate you and what your company is able to do for us, and that we're just so glad to have you on board with us. And thank you for being there and giving us all these wonderful ideas, and that's going to work and make us successful for the next 100 years. Thank you so much.
And we have a tradition at the UCM educational series of lighting the candle. And this is an origami heart that symbolizes all of you and the heart that you bring. And when we light this candle, it's kind of a symbol of all of our lights coming together and joining tonight for this incredible learning experience. So this is for your open heart and for the light of your presence in the world. And thank you, Julia. It is all yours.
Oh, thank you. So I put together a little presentation for all y'all today. So I love pretty pictures. And so I put everything in pretty pictures. So let me first, let's see if I can do this right. Okay, I have to share my screen. That worked. Okay. Oh, it says your shared screen can be seen only by hosts and co-hosts. After all that. So you folks can't see my screen?
Can anybody see her screen? You're all on mute, so somebody come off mute and let us know.
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Julia, are you the admin?
No, she's not. She will be in a minute.
There you go.
So let me stop sharing and then you can make me admin. This is Corey is the host now. Oh, look at that. I am the host now. That's interesting. Oh, that's because I can see everyone. Okay, I got it. All right. Let's see now if I share my screen. Now do you see it? Um,
I see it. Can anyone else see it?
who is that speaking?
It
Jan.
is Janet.
Oh, Jan.
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see
Okay,
it.
Amina
Oh,
said she
good,
can see
good.
it.
Okay,
Perfect.
great. And we're recording, so good, good. Everything is rolling. Okay, here we go. So this presentation is Spiritual Marketing, 8 Steps to Attract Your Divinely Aligned Clients Online. And you found your way, I say, synchronistically to the place where you will discover how to attract your true soul tribe. And I'm Julia Stege. I'm the magical marketer. Where's my wand? Well, my wand isn't handy, but I usually have a wand in hand. And for 25 years or so, I've been helping soulpreneurs to get their businesses online authentically. So I started my career back in, a long time ago in Manhattan. And I discovered that marketing in the traditional sense was really all about brainwashing, lying, and hyping to people. This is not news. I mean, we all know this. But I discovered it firsthand back then, and I decided I had to escape from Manhattan and traditional marketing altogether. And this was quite some time ago. And along the way, I founded Magical Marketing Company to help spiritual businesswomen and conscious entrepreneurs to attract their true soul tribe authentically. So, yeah, I skipped over some years there, but, all along my whole life, I've always been attracted to people who are here for a reason. I mean, on the planet right now, and the reason isn't just to relax or have fun or watch TV or have a beer or whatever. It has something like a purpose. And I say you chose to be here during this time of unimaginable suffering. So let's just suggest that if we choose to come here or incarnate, that we chose to at this time for a reason, and that there's a reason that you care so deeply about helping people, and why you feel like you can make a difference, because you can make a difference. And now is not the time to be invisible. People need you. You've learned amazing, creative, magical ways to transform people's lives and serve the planet. And you're guided by the universe to contribute your gifts. I say there are people here that you are born to serve. Like, you're uniquely qualified to serve them. You are here to serve them. And I call them your soul tribe. They're aligned with you on the soul level. And your greatest desire is to connect with them. And in fact, their greatest desire is to connect with you and each other. So this is what they're into. And you want to connect with them especially so you can share your gifts with them and transform lives. And that is your destiny. That's your true destiny. But if you've tried taking marketing classes, you know that promoting can seem really out of alignment. So it can seem like this. It's horrible. terrible thing. In fact, I say there are at least 3 reasons why doing marketing the normal way doesn't work for you and can sabotage your heart-based business. So, the first reason is that marketing that's overly impersonal or professional hides your essence and makes you invisible to your most loyal fans. So, unless you are revealing your authentic self, then of course you're not going to be shining through if you don't, right? And so, the people who are looking for you won't actually see you. They won't recognize you. You're literally invisible to them. Well, and just let me just say, when you're trying to hide what makes you special and different, that's not good for marketing. And maybe the reason that many of us hide out is because of past persecution. Um, and that's understandable, but it can't continue if you're going to really reach your people and have them recognize you. Here's the second reason why normal marketing doesn't work is if you try these like overly tactical blueprints or templates, formulas that have no heart and aren't designed to inspire real connection, that won't work for you. They're not designed to make a connection. They're designed to make a sale. And your people want a significant connection. So if you try to be doing these things that everyone says works and it doesn't work for you, well, one reason is that it wasn't really designed for you. You know, most marketing is not designed for spiritual marketers or spiritual people or people with a mission or people who have integrity. As I said, it's really meant to cause a sale to happen, no matter how it happens, quite frequently. Here's the third reason, and all of us are afraid of being seen like that we're this guy. But using anything like traditional fear-based, hyped-up, brainwashy marketing is too smarmy for your highly sensitive and cutting-edge clients. I mean, we know this, but then sometimes we'll pay somebody and they'll give us a technique that we're supposed to use, and it ends up being like, wait, I think I just am scaring people, or this is way over the top hype, or wow, this is trying to trick them in some way. So that's 3 reasons why marketing the normal way won't work for you. And I share that with you in hopes that you feel fine about abandoning these techniques. But, you know, hopefully you'll find something in what I'm saying today that will help replace any of these that you might be using. You know, what I notice that happens quite frequently with when you reject all these, you reject being too professional, or you reject templates or scaring people, then what people resort to.
What happened? We lost her.
Julia lost her
What?
connect.
What?
We don't see you anymore.
Huh. Okay, got lost out of here.
Okay.
Can you make me co-host again?
I am doing it right now. There we are.
Do you know
There's
where I
the-
dropped off?
The last slide.
The smarmy guy?
Yes.
All right, let's see if I can.
Sorry about that. The minute I stopped hearing, I got back on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you know, often what happens is that people will resort to kind of ad nauseum describing all their modalities. So I also say, don't do that either, you know. Now, you may have tried these techniques and attracted this guy who is questioning everything that you're saying. I was worried he was going to, because I use law of attraction and do an attraction plan with my clients, and I was thinking about this guy that he would be throwing his glasses at me if I said, let's do an attraction plan. Or, you know, maybe even worse than that is somebody that you paid good money to tells you not to follow your dream at all. That happened to me. She said magical marketing. Well, you can't say that. That sounds like what I tell my clients not to do. She actually kind of looked like this woman. Um, and so that might, you know, hearing, or maybe even your friend, right? So sometimes your friends might be trying to give you advice, like maybe you just shouldn't mention that like key thing about yourself, like your magical side, for instance. What if they find out I'm a magical forest creature? Well, you know, here's the thing. Your soul tribe wants your magical self, like they want your authentic self. How you would want to describe that? Um, your true self. And so they're searching high and low. And from their perspective, nobody has exactly what they're seeking, because there's the people that are you're born to serve, and they are like they are seeking you, but if they can't find you anywhere or they can't recognize you when they find you, this is how they feel: frustrated. So what you seek is seeking you. The people that you are seeking to serve are seeking you to serve them right now. So if you know they're looking for you, then that perhaps the way that you do your marketing is different. It's all about them recognizing you as the one that they're meant to work with. And that thus you have to be authentic in your marketing. I did this very shamanic looking painting, and I was afraid to use this in my marketing. I ended up using it for something called wildly attractive websites. Um, but I remember, you know, feeling like it was too authentic. um, but then I realized, hey, wait, isn't that what my tribe wants? So let's get into these 8 steps that I promised to provide you today. The 8 steps to attract your divinely aligned clients online. And uh, I have a little resource for you also that goes along with this. So the first step is to, I say, forget everything you ever learned about marketing or what you should or shouldn't do in business. Get in alignment with your soul and look within for your own answers. I don't think that there are answers out there specifically for you unless you're guided to them and they are in alignment with what you've already decided you're about. I do believe that our soul knows what we're supposed to be doing, that our answers are within, and that we just need to know the questions to ask and to wait for those answers. We can't hear those answers if there's chatter in our mind about the way it's supposed to be. So I say, you know, let's start from nothing. Forget everything you ever learned about everything. Let's say come to no thought whatsoever, the source of creativity, the present moment, and release all the chains of the past. Just forget it all. Well, this didn't work, that didn't work, the other thing was stupid, or I felt, like this didn't felt terrible to do or whatever it was, or they said this and that and the other thing, we'll just let that all go. Let's just take a breath. Let's just blow that out the window. Most of us have had terrible experiences with this stuff. So now we want to allow instead our inspiration to flow. So this is our first step. It's kind of like, hey, go meditate. The second step then is to determine or identify who was I born to serve. Now sometimes, now we can talk about what are you meant to do, which we'll get to that. But I found that it's easier to first consider who we're born to serve, who we really want to help. Now we remember that whoever it is that we're serving, we're in alignment with them. So they might be like us. Remember that. Now I have created a resource for this. It is called the Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook, and you can get this online at no cost at getstap.com, GETSTAP. And this is a process that has helped tens of thousands of people to tap within to what is perfect for them, to identify who their soul tribe is, clarify what is the point of alignment with that tribe, and really set into motion how you want your business to look. So also includes this 5-part video series on attracting perfect customers online, the basics you might enjoy. So you can get that at getstap.com. A couple of the steps that I'm going to be sharing tonight, that I'm sharing here, this book will help you enormously. So when you're tapping into who are my soul tribe, what are the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my soul tribe? Remember, you're going to find those answers within and allow your intuition to guide you through the process of all the questions that I ask you in this playbook. So if somebody could put that link in the chat, I would be most grateful. It's just GETSTAP.com. Now, step 3 is to create your authentic message. That is what you say to people. Sometimes it's what you say to people when they ask you what you do. And you want this message to not be like, well, I do Reiki distance healing, because there's like a million other people that do that. That's just one example. You want to share your uniqueness around whatever it is that you're offering, and typically, that you would be sharing something that's important to you and that is really actually important to your tribe. Because like attracts like, it's quite likely that if you are sharing messaging, both in person and online, around what's important to you, that the people who are aligned with that are going to be drawn to you. In fact, that's the only thing that's going to really draw them to you, is your authentic self, your sharing. So a lot of what I'm saying tonight is about authenticity and revealing what makes you different. So you share from the heart what's most important to you and to your clients, and how you solve real problems and transform lives. So you can share stories about how you help people. You can share about principles that you feel are important for people to know about, and really share about the practical ways you solve real problems that they have. I think a big mistake people make in marketing is not even addressing the problems that clients have. They just skip right to here's the modality and I can fix this, that, and the other thing. But you haven't really addressed the problem that they have. I think you want to deeply address their problems. That's the only way they're going to know that you understand them. So you start by discovering words that express your soul and the results that you produce. So in that Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook, you will find a little play sheet in there on creating titles and taglines and things and phrases that express your soul by discovering the words that reflect that. These words, the closer you can get to resonance with the words that you use, the more your people will recognize you. Sometimes the words that you find are so touching to you that if you heard a song that really was about that word, you would be extremely moved. So that's just something to think about. Step 4 is creating your vibrational visual brand. And we know the old cliche or whatever it is an old adage or something, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It absolutely is. And we know that godliness has historically been expressed through beautiful works of art which don the windows and interiors of the greatest spiritual institutions. They got the greatest artists ever in the history of the world to do the art in their cathedrals for a real reason. And that's because it's really a more direct connection to the divine. So as a spiritual entrepreneur, you're wise to deliver your message through a beautiful and authentic aesthetic. One that feels so good to you. And maybe almost makes you weep. I have had some clients weep. Allow me to show you some before and after images of some successful, inspired websites designed and produced here at Magical Marketing. These were created in collaboration with our clients to capture their essence visually. And so since a picture is worth 1,000 words, I thought, what better way than by showing you the transformation before and after to see how these sites reflect their soul. Actually, in this case, there was no before, but this was the after for Stella Fleur Institute. She's actually sitting on a labyrinth. I love that photo. This might look familiar. So this is the before of the UCM website. And here is our design we are producing right now, and we will be launching this very shortly. The website is designed, as Corky was sharing earlier, to attract and serve a wider audience of spiritual seekers and practitioners, and not just younger ones. So that is one of our aims, but also just a wider, just more people who really need what UCM has to offer. Here's Rich Gurman, who was called the coach's coach, but his passion was really the ocean, and he's an ocean advocate. And at one point, he became his video of him paddleboarding with orcas in Southern California went viral around the world, and he needed a website that would reflect who he really is. And his passion, his message is no ocean, no us, no ocean, no us, with the two different spellings of no. And he's really committed to that. So it absolutely reflects who he is much more now. This is she is a grief counselor, Michelle Pedicolis. She is really using a lot of metaphysical methods to connect with people in the beyond and stuff, really to help people to deal with those who have passed, right? And she had this thing, it was really kind of scared to reveal herself through this. She wanted to maintain more of a librarian kind of approach. And we revealed who she really is in this design. And her sales went up by 600%. And she said she's embodying herself more authentically, which is a side benefit when you reveal your soul to the world. That actually now you know that the people who are attracted to you really get you and are aligned with what you do. And then talking with people becomes an extreme joy. This is Ben Saltzman. He just wanted a better website all around. He had very successful transformational events, and he wanted to show that feeling tone through the website. Just from showing those pictures was able to offer the feeling tone of what it's like to come. This is Carrie Denow, and she was a marriage family therapist, but she wanted to come out more as a spiritual counselor. And when we redid her brand for this, she doubled her practice, like instantly. So often people are afraid to reveal who they really are in a powerful way. But my experience is it works. This is Samira. Her website is Wild Woman Awakening, but it just didn't even look at all wild. She's way more coming out now through these graphics, really, and in combination with the messaging. Just even these words like reclaim your feminine magic and live happily ever after. And how to remove the 7 energetic blocks that are sabotaging your relationships. You start getting the feeling of her. This was Christine's before. This is her after. She writes inspired heart letters to reconnect people. Here is a nutritionist, Anne. She had a relatively successful blog, but when we created her visual brand and redid her site, she attracted thousands of new visitors and over 100 new opt-ins and 7 new clients in 1 month. So getting a new platform, and I will get to that part. This is Dr. Cheryl, way more coming through in her after. She's a naturopath physician, natural health. This is Christine. She helps people get rid of stress. Oops, that little thing is an old little offer I didn't notice on there before. The step 5 is craft your irresistible offers. So what makes your offers irresistible? They address the perceived problem the client faces rather than the modalities you have to convince them to want. Right? So when your offerings, all the way from your free offers, all the way through maybe individual sessions you offer, or you might offer packages or group programs, they are designed to address the perceived problem the client faces from their perspective, rather than trying to sell them, well, I'm a really good Reiki distance healer or whatever. I was picking on that one, but or even worse, where you have, well, I have these 20 modalities, and then you're describing them all. So instead of convincing them to want your modality, you want to get right into the results that you can produce directly related to their problems. Step 6 is to create content that connects you to your soul tribe. So whether that content is writing or videos or photography, paintings, audio, who knows, there might be other things that I'm skipping. Um, Whatever the medium of the content that you create, you want to make sure you are connecting with your people. And similarly to the messaging part that I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to share content that's important to you, and that will be important to them. Especially where it comes to solving the problems that they perceive that they have. When you share what's important to you, you will attract those who are aligned with you, aligned with what's important to you. You'll also reject the people, or the people will naturally not be attracted to you who aren't aligned with it, and therefore then you don't talk to people that are asking you to convince them about things. They're already into it because they like your approach and your style and your uniqueness. Then step 7 is to grow your spiritual business online. To select the platforms that best represent your offerings, including your websites, social media, maybe online events if you're going to be doing that. So, there's not a lot to say about this. You want to select your favorite platform, and there's so much that is out there. You want to discover in the similar way as we're discovering, let's say, the words that we use to attract our tribe, what feels right to us. Like if you hate it on Facebook, don't feel ashamed, You'll find something else that you like. You might be willing then to do a podcast instead. You don't have to be on Facebook to do a podcast. Or maybe you want to do video and do that on YouTube. Or there's even smaller platforms, even possibly local online platforms, or special online platforms like this for UCM, where you can share your offerings, share about yourself, etc. I, of course, believe in websites because that's a place where you have 100% control over your content. And therefore, you can distribute, what you're meaning, your message, in pure integrity, I say. The 8th step is marketing from the soul. That is, share your soul frequently, clearly, consistently, beautifully. Just do whatever it is that you decide to do. typically I advise to select maybe 3 things that you do. One thing that you do every day, one thing that you do every week, and one thing you do every month. Now, the thing you do every day, it might not even seem like a marketing thing. Like I have a colleague who every day goes out at around sunrise with her camera, her video, her phone, I guess, and she videotapes just some trees, and then you hear the birds. And she doesn't even really talk. She might say, like, hear the birds, or something like that. But what that does is it reveals something that's important to her. I find it very attractive. I want to listen to those birds, even though I have my own birds out here. I totally want to listen to her birds. And it helps me to see her true soul when she shares those. So share your soul frequently, clearly, consistently, and beautifully. That's my advice. Now, remember to get your Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook. I believe this is the foundational activity for any spiritual entrepreneur to get in alignment with what it is that you really want, who you want to attract, how you want your business to look, and begin creating the messaging for your marketing. And you get that at Get Staff. We put that in the chat. And I can support you in a variety of different ways if you are interested in getting help on this. Visual branding, and I do have a class coming up on this if you prefer to do like visual branding on your own but want guidance. I also do the visual branding, authentic messaging, website design, copywriting, and full mentorship in terms of your spiritual marketing and building your spiritual business or healing business online. If you want to talk to me about that and what that might look like, I invite you to apply for a magical strategy session with me at magicalstrategysession.com. Oh, we can put that in the chat too. And I can answer any of your questions. Now, if you have any for me, I would love to hear about your businesses actually, and your experiences so far marketing yourself online. Oops, that wasn't exactly it. Let me type it in. It's www.magicalstrategysession.com. Or maybe I have to put in, well, just copy and paste that into the browser. That'll work, I think. Does anyone want to share about what your business, what you're doing with your business and what you're doing with your marketing? Anyone willing to share about that?
Amina,
Amina has got her thumb up.
yes.
Hi.
Hello. So the short version is a pet psychic. And,
Oh, you are?
I am, and an empath. Didn't know about the empath until I got bowled over a few thousand times and found the Center for Creative Living. I've always done it. I just kept it to myself because people would look at me and say, because I talk in the first person when I'm talking to an animal.
Right.
And I get frustrated with people. And didn't you hear them say blah, 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 blah. When I was a kid, that's how I said it.
Uh-huh.
And my siblings and my family looked at me like, you didn't mean that literally, right? So eventually I said, oh, no, of course not.
Right. Of
So,
course not. Yeah. So that's what I was referring to with the, once we get to the point where we're marketing, it just seems counter logical. I wouldn't call it counterintuitive. Your intuition is saying, yes, I need to say this, but your logical brain is saying, but then maybe they'll call me crazy or something like that.
and now, with all the support, as you talked about, that I got from, the CCL family specifically, when I moved back up from LA, I came from a wildlife sanctuary where you would never, ever, ever talk about something like this. But
Oh,
it was
you
a great,
wouldn't?
no, they would probably fire me and walk me out of the building. Well, the one building, because it was a acreage. No, it's too dangerous because people feel like you're going to walk up to the tiger, because so many people do it, and they get in their hand in the cage and say, I can talk to them, and then they get it bit off, and then they're in the 9 o'clock news. And no,
That's
this is not something you do in that arena. It's too
no.
dangerous. It doesn't matter how anybody feels about it. But it was a great place to cut my teeth. And it was a great place for me to meet my guide, and a great place for me to get very confused and walk in on Center for Creative Living and say, what the heck is this? Because I know what I know, but I didn't know anything about the spiritual world in
Right.
the psychic world. I had no one in my life like that. Well, that's not true. I had one pet person, but she's in Texas. I never met her.
So how long have you been doing this animal communication as a business?
Less than 5 years.
So say 5 years.
Yeah.
And how have you been marketing it?
I do only organic. I agree with you completely. I've had other businesses before, so I'm not new to that. Project manager by college trade, and a vet assistant, also licensed. So I have many skills that taught me, okay, we're going to do this. So what I did is, I went to all the meetings, all the different things. Meetup was a very big deal. I went to a lot of that. I have my 2 business coaches are from there. And my one class helped me write this. A bunch of people who didn't know anything about animals. Yeah, it was great. We all listened to each other, and we had authors in the room, we had engineers in the room, and we all just listened to each other and said, okay, what I hear when you talk about your business are these 5 words or these 6 things that really talk about hard work. So I was really lucky to be, really putting out that energy and getting that back. And these coaches are still in my life, not professionally because I don't need that, but you put that together. And so what I did is I did it like the books say. You do this much marketing, and you do this many ads, and you do this many of this. And I do everything for about 30 to 60 days. 90 days would be my longest. I don't usually go that long. And I threw it out there to everybody. It was for this age group and everybody, because I already knew what age group I was dealing with. But men are not my audience. I haven't put an ad out that is scared, or if a man sees it, great. His wife probably told him about it, because I already know that. And I did that by doing those 30 to 60 days of this ad, keeping the same picture, same words, but then changing the audience. So I learned a great deal, because that's what I am as a project manager. You know that you've got to build the house one brick at a time, but maybe not a cinder block, but maybe I need a clay bun, but I don't need that much sand. So you have to figure out what tools work.
Yes, exactly.
What
tools work for you? Yeah.
Yeah. And who's my audience? So don't waste my time. I mean, I have male clients, but I have 4 compared to 300 of women. So it's not worth my time.
Yeah, that's great. So do you feel that you have any marketing challenges right now, or you're just looking for new perspectives?
Always looking for new perspectives. The times we're in have changed. I used to do classes on Meetup, and luckily I ended those right before pandemic. So I got out of, renting a room at CCL and, all those types of things that I had commitments to. And yet at the time you go, oh, this was really a good thing. Well, I did it the first 2 years, but then it wasn't then it wasn't. I wasn't getting the attendance. So it was a good time. My life has been really, I've been lucky because I am very spiritual and didn't know it. And just go with my gut feeling. A lot of women should. We're really good at it when we get out of our way. And that's what I had to learn, that I did know what I was doing. I just got a lot of support from Corky and Dottie and Janet and tons of people. So I went to people that were going to give me the advice that I could hear and could take out the pieces I can use.
Excellent. Well, I hope you found it beneficial.
I hope so. And your talk was wonderful, was absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. You enjoyed it. Anyone else? Sonia, Lisa, would you like to share about what your business is and what you're doing with your marketing? How about you, Sonia? Or Lisa?
Sure.
We'll go Sonia first and then Lisa.
Yeah.
How's that?
Sonia first. Sure. Yeah, I'll share. So I'm launching a new career as an author, and
How exciting.
primarily fiction with spiritual themes, romance. I'm calling it mystical romance.
Oh, wow.
So my background, though, I worked in convention industry for 25 years, and I had lost my job there and tried to go back, didn't work out. I knew it was time to do something different. And so I also have a background doing spiritual work for maybe 15, almost 20 years as well. And I'm a Reiki master. I've taught for years, and and I've done private sessions and things. So I've kind of parlayed a lot of my experience together to come up with something new. So while I'm writing my books to get them ready to self-publish, I said, well, I need to start something. So I did create a website. I put out a book for free on Wattpad. And I found the hardest part is, and I have done some marketing classes before, the hardest part is when you don't actually have something, how do you relate to people? How do you talk about what you're going to do before you've actually done it and before you actually have a product? So that was a great challenge, but I'm happy with what I've got so far.
So how did you answer that question?
Well, I did it through really that free book that I put a free book out on Wattpad about my mediumship abilities and a relationship that I have with a spirit guide. So that was a great start. People like the book, and I do have a Reiki circle that I attend regularly. So that's kind of like my launch pad as far as where I can bounce ideas off of, and people are very supportive there. And I did start, to collect email addresses on the website, and it's just one piece at a time. I am offering private sessions and, letting people know, that the romance books are coming. And then, it's all I can do is one step at a time. The biggest thing that I'm doing that I've never done before is actually videos. I certainly see how things go viral with videos. And so I said, well, let me try that because I've never done it before. And I feel comfortable.
How did that go for you?
It's going fine. Yeah, I think I literally just started about a month ago, and I think I've got about 20 followers. And, and most of them do seem to see it from what I can see. I'm getting the views. So, I'm certainly not going viral, in that sense, but, I can see it being organic, and, all I can do is try something and then just go from there, try something else. I'm keeping my videos short, and I'm answering like spiritual questions, talking about like, what is the soul, and, just starting, and seeing where it goes, seeing what kind of questions I get. And I have no doubt that in another year, I'll probably be in a completely different spot, but I knew I needed to start somewhere.
Great. Well, congratulations. Did you find that you have any challenges at this time in your marketing?
I don't know if I have any challenges yet because I've just started. I think I'll see in a few months. If, what I'm concerned about is that if I don't reach enough people, like if it starts to plateau, then I'll look at it and say, okay, what do I need to do to get out there and find?
Yeah, getting into new audiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you. Lisa, what are you up to?
Hi, Um, First of all, thank you so much for doing this. This is huge for me. I have been a certified healer practitioner with UCM for quite a few years, and I have clients here or there. And I found it interesting when you spoke about the authenticity of advertising, things of that nature, because I've had people, like, I had a website up that I had a friend of mine put up there, but everything they wanted to say, like, and it was like what you said, like all this marketing strategies. It just was, it didn't feel right to me. It just didn't feel real to me.
Right.
I don't
I
like
wonder
the
why.
idea of tricking people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't trick people. I'm very, I'm full of integrity, and so it's like I needed it to be real. And long story short, basically I shut down the whole Facebook page because first of all, I just wasn't connecting with that at all. I couldn't seem to get out of my own way. I kept listening to all the outside input and nothing would sit with me. It was like, yeah, no, that's not it. Like, I'm not going to trick. It's because, like you said, it seems like it's all about tricking people
Yeah.
to get them to come to you. And it's
Right.
like, I'm not good with that. I can't trick you.
Yeah.
And what you taught me just now was it's okay to just be me. And that's, so now I'm going to approach this, which I may also be connecting with you, Juliana, one-on-one type situation, because I would love to get the business going. All these years have gone by. Like I said, I'm certified and licensed here. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm actually the state representative for Pennsylvania for healer practitioners. And
Hmm.
I can't seem to get off the ground at all. I have people that I just spoke to one-on-one that have, set up sessions with me. I do my healing work on a daily basis anyway, just being out and about with people. I'm one of those people that individuals are just attracted to, that want to come up and share all their horrors with me. And I always have the answer, what they need. It just comes naturally. Half the time, I don't even know what the heck I just said. It's like I'll walk away going, "What did I just say to those people? Did I, But I just know. That's how I operate. I have this inner knowing. And my other big thing is, and I'm going to ask you this question, if you can possibly answer it now. I don't know. Um, I don't know how to quite get that out there to people. That I just know what I know. Like, how do you relate that out there? um if you could even understand what I'm trying to describe. See, I'm even having a hard time telling you. Like, I just have this knowing of things. If I have a conversation, I know what I need to say and do with your specific, issue,
Hmm.
problem, whatever
Hmm.
it is you're dealing with. But it comes on a one by one basis. And it's not something I just like, it's not an overall, it's a, per needed type healing things that I do. So whatever you come with me with, I'm going to have an answer for you. But it's just, I can't pinpoint
Well,
how
that's what
to
all
put that out
psychics
there.
say. Okay. So, you're not alone in that. What does help is that if you can really begin to identify at least your favorite clients or your ideal clients, the people that you feel that you're more uniquely qualified to serve. And you can ask yourself or your whatever, your higher self, or, you know, your internal guidance.
Yes.
Um, well, who am I really born to serve? And see what comes. Sometimes it's sort of surprising, sometimes it's not. What I've noticed is that when you really get into it and start talking about these people, it can be very emotional because it's like if you could really serve them it's almost like, have I not been? Have I been ignoring them? It's just like this tragic thing. Like my real people can't get this anywhere else. So if I'm not doing it, then nobody is. It's a really kind of a sad thing. And
Right.
so that's one way I look at it is like if you're not doing it, it hurts for these people. These other people, you're like,
Yes. Yes.
they can find it elsewhere,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So,
And I think that that is so correct. And I totally understand where you're coming from with that. I feel like for me, I feel like the people in my tribe is more of the young adult. They tend to really gravitate towards, you know, my words, towards what I have to say to help them, to light them up. You know, I sort of light up their lights and get them like more motivated. I'm really good at motivating them and having more understanding towards what they're
mhm.
going through.
So
So
like that kind of thing. See, once you're like, well, you know what? Let's just say I could attract anyone I want, and I could attract a full client load of one kind of person if I wanted.
right.
Well, who would I really want?
Mm,
And see what comes. And then once you're clarifying who it is that you want to attract, now you're going to start looking at what do they think their problem is?
oh, yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
So now you're saying, okay, here's the problem that they perceive that they have. And also you start looking at the people that you've actually helped. And you
Right.
think, I could put this into a context. Maybe, Mary came to me one time and she had this XYZ problem. And this is what we did.
Okay.
That is a very effective way of sharing what you do. It's by sharing stories,
Got it.
real stories. You can change the name to protect the innocent
Right.
of real people, like I did today. They're all real people, right? And
Right.
they had real challenges, and now you can see who they really are visually. Um, that makes it real. Otherwise, it's just a concept. And
Right.
then you get into what you're offering and how that's going to solve their perceived problems. What I like to do with psychics is come up with something that's like a great freebie that, say, if you got on some radio shows or some podcasts or something, of which there are just millions for spiritual oriented people, I think, um, that you could offer a freebie like my little Soul Tribe Attraction playbook that I'm offering today to you guys. Um, you could have something like that that helps them actually get started in some way. So by bringing clarity, perhaps, or exploring their own what they know so that they can come to you more equipped to even share what's going on with them.
Mhm.
I love the journal approach, where you're asking questions and then they're giving answers that they're spurning on. It's like journaling, though. It's coming from them. The answers come from them.
Right.
And then you can build a list of people that are interested in your process and share stories with them and be on their mind when they've got a problem,
Makes sense.
that they actually need a psychic or whatever it is that you call yourself to solve.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, and thank you again for this has been amazing.
I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
you enjoyed it.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, you will be hearing from me.
Oh, good. Dottie, did you have a
Dottie.
question?
Yes, Dottie had her hand up. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Hi.
Hi.
Almost everybody
Can
knows me.
we
I'm the
can we
Reverend.
spotlight Dottie by any chance?
No,
Oh, are you
somehow,
not on video?
no.
Oh, okay.
I'm Reverend Dottie Boone, and I have a charter of UCM, and
Oh, great. Yeah.
I'm the Center for Creative Living. I love that.
Cool.
And that's the way I got known, because I have a church. And every Sunday I stand up and talk about metaphysical things and quite
Yeah.
often do readings from the pulpit, which to make people feel comfortable that it's okay. It's
Mhm.
not wildly occult. It's just spiritual. Okay.
Not
And
wildly
I really
occult.
enjoyed it. But I found out I've been doing this for 40 years. And I found out first to have a brand, and my brand is my hat. You never see me without a hat. And they go, "Oh, that's Dottie Boone." I mean, I'll be in a
I'm
group
often
of,
seen with a
so
hat too.
yes,
You're,
yes,
you're
I noticed that.
inspiring me to put mine on for just for fun.
Hey, and you know, I'm usually wearing something fairly flamboyant. I had a radio show for 9 years where
Oh, there you go.
that was wonderful. We traveled from San Jose to San Francisco once a week for a radio show. And from the radio show, I would say, I will give you a free reading if you bring 4 other people over to your house for me to do readings on.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so I figure if Tupperware worked that way, spirituality.
Oh,
could
you're so smart.
but it's been a wonderful, wonderful road. And I'm still doing it, and I'm still helping sponsor ministers so they can get that excitement of bringing spirituality, metaphysics, and all of the various areas of that to other people. And so for me, it's the greatest path I've been on. But I really say, do something unusual so that people want to see you do it again. Get out there. I've talked on venues all over the state of California,
All over the world, actually.
all over the world, really. I've been in England and I've been in Greece and all that. But what happens is make yourself a distinguishable. You don't want to wear black and just sit there. You want to get out there and be a little bit flamboyant. And if you're not the flamboyant person, let your clothing do it for you.
So are you going online, Dottie?
No, not right now. You mean on this this talk? Yeah.
No, I mean, do you have a website and all that too?
Oh yes, I have a website, and we have a wonderful thing that's called Center for Creative Living Insights, CCL Insights, that goes out once a week.
Great.
My partner is somebody
Like your little email thing.
Yeah, Corky Whitaker. I'm lucky to have her as a partner in all of this, and she does that type of stuff. She knows how to plug in the computer, and I still don't know that.
She's a hard worker too.
Yes, she is. But all I can say is don't say I can't, just say I haven't done it yet, and do it.
Your dad does readings from home, and so like she had what, 2 or 3 today?
No, I had 4 readings today, and then I've got spread it over a week. I've got 11 readings, and that's pretty good.
That's nice,
especially when you're my age.
And a brick and mortar.
Absolutely, it's nice.
We have a brick and mortar church.
Yeah,
Every Sunday.
So Sunday services. So every Sunday we talk about, UCM. We talk about how each person I feel is psychic. They have that ability within them. Just do it.
Yeah. And that's great. That's a great example, Dottie. That's how we used to do stuff. I mean, I would say till 20 years ago, right? But that was only my choice. When I discovered online, I was like, I kind of like this better than all those in person. But that's me. I'm a little bit of an introvert.
Oh my goodness.
Even though I may not look like one.
Nobody has ever called Dottie Boone an introvert.
Nobody has called you. No, my best friend is a total extrovert, and I can imagine that you remind me of her. So, but she's very flamboyant too. She's like purple and orange streaks in her hair too.
Oh.
So thanks for sharing, Dottie. Richard, did you say you wanted to chat?
Yeah, I would. Can you hear me?
What are you up to?
Oh, well, I'm a past president of UCM, and I have a website that's been in place since like 1997 and updated from time to time.
Uh-huh.
But I'm looking to kind of reinvent it. You know, I went through a big health challenge this year.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm just really managing my energy, and, product branding is everything. So I'm wondering if maybe, we could chat offline as
Oh,
to,
absolutely. So I put up a link. Let's see if it's still in the chat, or you might have come after the link was put up. I'm not sure.
yeah, I came on about 20 after the hour.
Oh, okay. Well, let me put those links up again, okay? So there's one that, let me just doubly make sure that I've got the exact link, because I've got these, like, whatever you call them, glam link. I don't know what they're called. Um,
I thought your presentation was lovely. I mean, the graphics were just stunning. They really capture the eye. It's very, very beautiful.
thank you
And
so much. It's one of my favorite, favorite things too.
yeah, I
Um,
I studied a little bit about marketing in the four quadrants, and basically, what we do in spirituality, I think, applies mostly to people who are feelers. People who are deeply connected and seeking answers. But I want to be able to appeal to all of those groups.
mm-hmm. Okay, that was the session I just put up there. And
Okay.
then there's a free book.
Yeah, I did that.
You got that one, but I'm going to
Hmm.
post it again. I'm going to post the actual real link for that. And this is here. This is the free playbook. All right, I'd be happy to talk to you, Richard,
Yeah, I
and
just I
see
just
how I
think,
can help.
well, having been a former engineer, I tend to put way too much information, and I really like, the idea of presenting yourself in what problems you solve, rather than getting into the modality that you offer.
There's only one type of person that wants you to go into that, and they might not be your best client, right?
Yeah.
So on occasion, that is a person's best client, okay? Like I showed you earlier, Michelle, who does the death and dying thing, the
Hmm.
grieving thing.
Hmm.
She does have very scholarly clients. She has like librarian clients.
Hmm.
But she also has real people who are suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, she was worried about, in the end, she didn't really want to explain too much about what she does. She just
Yeah.
wanted to share the results and the feeling tone of her offering. Because in the
Hmm.
end, it's not a mental thing when you're
No.
grieving. You've got to decide if you trust the person, if you feel like they're going to help you, or
Hmm.
if you just don't feel it from them. And that's not going to come from any information. It's going to come from her sharing
Hmm.
what she does. She actually has these drawings. Those drawings are what I feel like really show what she's about. And they're
Hmm.
like these cartoons of a dinosaur hugging a little rabbit or stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And it just feels so warm to the heart to see those that you think, I think I can trust her with my heart right
Oh,
now. I think
lovely. Yeah.
I'm gonna call her. And meanwhile, she sends out information based on, or whatever, stories or tips really on dealing with stress and sadness
Hmm.
and things like that.
Hmm.
So it's ultimately better to share the ways that you solve problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a school of healing that I've been teaching for over 20 years, with a specific
Excellent.
form of energy medicine. But I also, as most of the people that have spoken tonight, I do my own form of private sessions and healing and lectures myself.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Well, I think sometimes that's hard
That's
to
awesome.
encapsulate in a website.
Well, when you have that much experience, I feel that now is the time. I'm just saying to everyone here, it really like there is suffering going on.
Yes.
And if you have some way of helping people and everyone's isolated, I
Hmm.
mean, more than usual, even yet still, there's many of us like me, I'm totally isolated still right now, physically isolated. There's a lot of stress.
Right.
There's more depression,
A lot of
you
mental
know,
illness and a lot of problems during COVID and post-COVID,
totally
and
COVID problems,
and the light workers want to
plus
be of service.
inflammation just in general, and whatever the causes of those things are. Um, it's to me so vitally important that, and not that we're proselytizing or anything like that, we're
No.
just making ourselves available to people who need us and are looking for us. They are rejecting other people right now because they're not, this in person didn't feel right. Maybe who I'm looking for isn't out there. And that's why we need to be so in alignment first and then create our marketing from that place of alignment so that we're true
Yeah.
to
Authentic.
ourselves and as
Hmm.
clear as possible and as concise
Hmm.
and approachable
Hmm.
and conversational in a normal way. We're not trying to pretend like we're really super smart or whatever. So many people are out there trying to pretend like they have all
I
the
think
answers forever.
I
They
think you have a,
never,
yeah.
they
I
never
think
had
you
a
have a,
problem in their life. Or if they did, it was so long ago. You know, uh, it's so just fake and unreal, right? I mean, people know that just, it's hard to be a person on this planet. It's just hard. If you don't think if you're not admitting that, it's
yeah.
like you're obviously not telling the truth. You're just, that's what all that hype is. It's like, well, if you're
Yeah.
suffering, the reason is because you don't have this particular answer. And if I give it to you, you'll stop suffering is like not really true.
Mhm.
So we
I
don't
like
need to
the
make
authenticity of what you offer.
what?
I like the authenticity
Oh,
of what you offer and what you've
thanks.
presented.
Well, there's no other way
Right.
unless you don't mind being just caught in just lie after lie. To me,
Mhm.
it's like, what did you say? So often I listen to these marketing, I just don't anymore, but I used to, uh, things that are just like, well, if you make it red instead of, and it's like, really? Like I gotta make this thing red so that they can see it or something? Because they're so unconscious that they're not gonna notice the button that they wanted. They what? They wouldn't push it unless it was red. To me, look, I want, if it's not gonna match the brand color, I don't want to make it red. It just, ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just get very sensitive about these things. Even little things like that just are like, come on, that's a trick too. Like how
Yeah.
unconsciously can you inspire people to opt into your thing? Like without thinking, they're just going click. What? That's who we want? That's not what I want. I don't want that. I want conscious people.
Well, and I want to reach out to and be of service.
Yeah, to the real
Um,
people that need you.
well, I'm in the San Diego area, but of course now we offer hybrid because not everybody can travel, and not
No.
everybody can come from, let's say, Toronto to San Diego to take my classes, or like my
No, it's
private
better to
sessions
have
are
them
worldwide.
online. It's better for
Right.
you. It's
Right. So
so much less stressful, don't you
we do,
think? I don't know.
and we do that. We do that. We're offering new
I
classes
mean,
on.
there's no replacement for actual people in person. I know that.
Right.
I
Well,
know
thank you.
that. I get migraines though when I try to do this kind of stuff in person.
Mhm.
One of you healer types could come to my events and like so that I don't get a migraine, but that's been my history. So I prefer that it's like it feels just more relaxed. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to plan like a million details about what kind of rug I want under my chair, what kind of chair I'm gonna have. Oy vey. Anyway,
Exactly.
that now you know my feeling about it, but it is, I can't deny the in-person thing. You can't deny that, Julia. But it's very handy to have a full-fledged platform online when a big pandemic hits and nobody
We
can be in
do.
person anymore. It's super handy.
We do, but some of the elements of what I teach in energy medicine are really better in person if possible. I've
Yes.
always been reluctant to teach online because,
Yeah.
safety is the most important thing about this type of work because it's so
Mhm.
foundational to our being
Well,
and our
if
core
you could
archetypes.
figure out what really works to teach, which part of it really works to
Yeah.
teach online, and just be so compelling
Yeah,
that they're just like,
exactly.
we have to come. We
Mhm.
just have to come for that part.
Mhm.
So you're just offering to everyone, but then they'll come for that part. They come to you.
Well, thank you for your time. I'm sure there's other people that have questions.
Oh, maybe, but it's a pleasure. And I'm
Thank you.
sure we'll talk soon.
And I
Did
see
anyone
Joan
else want to
Stutes.
have a question?
Joan Stutes had her hand up.
Joan, what's up?
No, my question was about the book because I tuned in late.
Oh, the little Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook.
Yeah, but I did get that link and I did,
You got to see? I can share a little background on it, okay?
okay,
Just
great.
because, why not? It's fun. So about in 1990, so look, this is a little history again. So I started being a graphic designer when I was 22, but when I was in Manhattan, I became an astrologer on the side. I was an apprentice to an astrologer. I also took a psychic development course where we did astral projection, tarot reading, aura reading, and self-hypnosis. And so by the time I was 25, I was all into the metaphysical arts. Um, but when I left Manhattan, and I pretty much didn't do a lot of astrology, but there was always that like that thing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Well, later on, let's just say fast forward, um, I discovered something called manifesting. Now, this wasn't until like 98, and I really wish I had discovered this earlier, but I took a course from a woman named Jane Bell in Marin on manifesting. I think she does something called focusing now, and I don't know if anyone here is familiar with that. But what the manifesting was really about writing down what you want in the present tense and also blessing people. So that was her style of manifesting. And I noticed right away that what I wanted to manifest happened like ridiculously right away. Like that first month, I wanted to make $5,000. I got a $5,000 client exactly. I thought, hmm. And then I also learned about manifesting from Sark. She wrote this book called, I don't remember, Wild Succulent Women. It's like a journal. And she had manifested all this stuff, like her beautiful cottage in San Francisco, weirdly. And then I discovered something called Attracting Perfect Customers: The Power of Strategic Synchronicity by now Jan Stringer is her name. Stacy Hall and Jan Brognias. This book, you can get this on Amazon easily for like $7 or something like that. Attracting perfect customers, the power of strategic synchronicity. This is basically a longer version of what I ended up creating in the Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook. So I had synchronistically attracted the woman that wrote that book, and ended up studying with her and becoming certified as what she called a strategic attraction coach in 2006. And all of the marketing stuff I've developed since then comes out of this process that I learned from her. It's all developed out of this approach through authentically tapping within your heart to discover what it is that you really want to attract. And then I've taken that to develop that into how you create your branding and your marketing. So the Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook, now you know the whole story. That's the whole story. I've been
So it
using that
sounds,
playbook for, when is 2006? Was that like 16 years ago? No. Is that possible? No. I don't know. That sounds like a long time ago. Ah! Anyways, it was a long time ago, let's just say. So,
yeah, where did those 15 years go?
I don't know.
So it
I
sounds
always
like,
thought everyone was going to figure this out, that you could combine marketing with the law of attraction, and it would be a really wise thing to do, and everyone, especially after The Secret came out, was going to figure it out and offer this, and they haven't. It's really bizarre to me, but it's very infrequent that you find anyone combining metaphysical processes, metaphysical arts and concepts with marketing. They just don't usually do that.
so it sounds like your free book is kind of a condensed version of that big thick book.
It is similar. Well, that big thick book, what does she even talk about was for so much? The actual attraction plan. Oh, they did another book, and the actual attraction plan was like on the back. Like you don't even have to buy the book to get the attraction plan. So what are they writing about? Well, they got people like me to write chapters in here. So what's different about my little thing and their little thing is just this process and like how I have it start turning into your marketing messaging. But yes, it's very aligned. All
So can I ask you one more question?
yes.
So you mentioned that you studied astrology years ago, and I did also. And how has it helped you, or are you working with it now, or
It's
what?
fun, but no, astrology is really complex and
Yeah.
individual. So, I attract people all over the astrological, wheel. And here's what I did do though. I got certified in something called the character codes. And this was like a simple personality typing system, kind of based on high school cliques. That's how I see it anyway. And there were just like 6 styles, and they're based on core needs. This woman, her name is, she's still alive, Brandy Michaels, but she doesn't do this training anymore, and she doesn't have the quiz up anymore. But when she did, I did notice that on the level of core needs, I was attracting people with the same core needs.
Mm.
The core needs I was attracting was significance and connection. So these were people that wanted a significant connection. That is, there's love, yeah, but not just for love, okay? Love is really important, but not just for love, but for impact too. That is to have change happen or impact. It might not necessarily, but like helping people, like ending suffering. let's have a transformational conversation that ends, at least for today, um, ends our suffering. That's what we like. So that's why we like to see transformation happen. Like our favorite thing.
I was at the grocery store this morning and this guy and I were talking. I said, well, have a nice day. And he said, okay. And if not today, maybe tomorrow or the next.
Maybe tomorrow.
It was
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah. So, it's I also found that in human design and Enneagram,
Mhm.
all those typing systems are so specific that it's, I think, too detailed. But I do know people that get into that, like human design and marketing, like Beth Davis. Um, but I'm more interested. That's very intellectual. I find it even too intellectual for me. I liked astrology. I was taught it in a way like it was keywords, and so I relate to that. I love keywords. That's how I work. So like, you know, Neptune, nebulous, ruler of Pisces, that kind of thing. Um,
So,
okay, nebulous. Okay, well, what does that mean? And then coming up with kind of your own, almost like your own intuitive way of seeing the chart to me versus too much detail and, that kind of thing. But yeah, I hope I answered your question. I love astrology too.
Richard mentioned your beautiful graphics, and I was wondering if that's a key element of the websites that you help design.
Yes. You know, everyone thinks they need a website, okay? Because they know they do. But they don't really understand what a website is. A website is really a lot of things. It's just the structure. It's sort of like a house. You drive by a house that's being built and it doesn't have any walls. It's just a frame. That's all a website really is a frame. And it frames your content. That's why most websites are terribly boring because they're not well designed frames. They're just frames, boxes, tiny boxes. So, it that reminds me of that Tiny Boxes song made of ticky tacky, and they all look just the same, right? So that's what happens with websites. Therefore, I have to kind of explain this to people a lot, but the real process is in diving within to determine what it is that you're about and be able to express that both verbally and visually. So I do a lot of work on copy and a lot of work on the design, probably more work on the copy because it just takes longer for me. Um, and you're talking through stuff. Design for me comes quickly. But I do believe that the visual design, the banner design specifically, is the key to communicating who you are. And then designing the rest of the website to match that banner. That's how I roll with it. So it's not a website, it's a brand.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay,
but yeah,
thank you so much for your presentation.
it was my pleasure. Did we have any other questions? Did I miss anything? Well,
I
we
would just
can,
like to, I would just like to offer, Julia, what you are giving us is very valuable for determining our life purpose. and honing in our life purpose as we're sharing it with the world. And I'm
Yeah,
almost struck
actually.
by the fact, right, that it's both internal and external. So it's relational to ourselves and then relational to the world and to whom we want to support.
Well, yes. So actually, I'm just finishing up a program now that I did with a group called Your New Renaissance Brand. And the New Renaissance is really where we bring all those skills together that we've learned that to how to have impact and create a unified message that shares it in a cohesive way. And where I start with that, similar to what I shared with you, is getting into contact with your soul, determining who your soul tribe is and what you're um, offering. And then I did this completely bizarre thing, which I call your soul's message for the world. And this is not your client attraction message, which comes after, I say, but it is how you share what's most important to you. Like if you were on Oprah, or what do you need your people to actually know? That is assuming that you're a messenger, that your purpose is to share a message or to let your people know something. That, like, one thing that I like to let my people know is that your authentic self is the most attractive thing that you can share. And so everything that I'm doing, especially if I do it for free, or if they ask me on Oprah, I wouldn't necessarily be talking about websites. I would be talking about attracting people that are aligned with you by sharing your authentic self for whatever purpose. Because you can attract people that are aligned with you. This is, to me, was just I had so much problems with that earlier on. Finally in high school I find my people, and then we have to go to college. You got to start over. And you got to find them again, and then you got to leave and go out into the work world. Then you're trying to find people. I had a hard time in Manhattan, over and over again. It's just, ugh. But then I found, oh wait, there's these ways that you're not just at the mercy of chance per se. That's why I liked the power of strategic synchronicity. You are planning to have synchronistic events that bring the perfect customers to you. So, anyway, I don't know what your question was. Oh, you weren't. You were just sharing that that was valuable. I'm glad that you felt that way.
Because it's almost a congruence between we're doing inside our inside universe, our soul,
Yes.
to the outside, what we wish to bring to the world. And I
I
love
think
that
that's why we're
question.
here.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're here now, when we can use all these tools, like even this Zoom thing, and like Facebook or whatever, a website. It's only been 20 years we've had these, like 25 years we've had these tools maximum.
That's right.
I started at the very beginning. It was a ridiculous very beginning. My first website was a picture. It was just a picture. That's all it was. I was like, how do you do this? Um, so it's fast. I mean, any of us that are a little older, it's like, wow, that was fast. Everything completely changed. And so I do feel like that's on purpose. And why not, if you have a different perspective that might help somebody, you know, get it out there. It would be my pleasure to assist anyone, have a strategy session with me. I have programs from like $47 on up to, because I know there's sometimes that people are beginning and don't want to spend all their money on marketing and this and that. So I have every range of offering. And so please do get that traction plan book. And then you'll be on my little list and you can see what I'm offering and future little events that I'm producing. And reach out if you feel the desire to connect. Anyone else have any last questions before we complete for the night? Hey, Corey. Good to see you. Well, it's been my pleasure to be with you all, you know, my favorite types.
We
I
are so
promise we will get
grateful.
that website out very shortly. It's just, website is like you're like, we're ready. We're gonna, oh wait, we had this one little tiny little, that's just the way it is with this technical stuff. But I promise you, we have been meeting every single week and we have been making progress. It's just you're starting with 100-year-old organization and
That's exactly
group
right.
of people, you know. And so we've been aiming to be very inclusive because that's how we roll, and make sure that every little decision that we make is in alignment with the UCM mission and vision and what you're really going for. And I am excited because I keep saying this at our meetings, but I feel like what UCM offers is very needed, especially because I work with a lot of healers, holistic healers, spiritual healers, psychics, hands-on, distance, the whole 20 modalities, actually 111 is the most modalities of any client and I've ever had. And these folks are sometimes out there on their own. And they don't have legal support. They don't know who to go to. And so I'm as excited as anyone in UCM to get this out to the people. We just want to make sure it's right and ready when it is, and then boom.
Thank you, Julia. I really appreciate all you've done for UCM and for the community as a whole. So
It is
thank
a
you for
total pleasure.
thank you.
All right, my
Yes, and
friends.
just second that thank you. And thank you to all of you who've come with your questions, your wisdom, and your sharing to Julia.
Thank you. I appreciate your communing. It's much better than just one person talking to a group.
Absolutely. And
All
so
right. Well, I
thank you
hope to
to
connect
each.
with many of you soon.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Maybe someday I'll be able to come down to, yeah.
Center for Creative Living.
Right now, I don't even go to
Right.
the grocery store, but I'm getting sick of it. I'll just tell you.
Just want to honor that, Julia.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
you speak the truth for many of us that are sick of it.
Yeah.
It's been
All right.
hard.
It is hard, man. It's just getting way hard, but we're not given anything we can't really or weren't supposed to be doing something with. It's like I said at the beginning, I don't think we're here. All of these like millions of years of evolution to watch television and drink a beer. I mean, yeah, that's fun, but like, is that the reason that we evolved to this point? That seems crazy to me. Much crazier than I can talk to animals directly to me,
Exactly.
you know? I mean, really, or whatever it is. Come on. So, I hope to stay connected. Thanks so much for having me. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you, Julia. And thanks to all of you. And be gentle with yourselves and do something life affirming just for you
Yeah,
in the next 24 hours.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
all.
again. Thank you so much.